Viruses are not alive and they have never been isolated. The first thing to consider when it comes to viruses is that the only way that a virus can exist is within the host. A virus needs a host to be created. There's no such thing as a virus traveling through the air, a virus being contagious. It's a complete lie. So what actually is a virus now? A virus is something that gets created in the body when the bacteria, the fungus, the parasites aren't strong enough to secrete and digest the dead cells. When your body has gone through a severe nutrient deficiency and you're suffering from a heavy metal overload because of the food additives, the poison in the drinking water, the fluoride in the drinking water, the candies and the donuts, and when it comes to the process in which you make your food, you're cooking it in aluminum, and the quality of the food that you're eating, if you're eating a lot of fast food, you know, that contains just crazy amounts of heavy metals and plastics. When the body's in this circumstance, a very high heavy metal overload, it's going to reach a point where the bacteria is not strong enough to digest and to secrete those toxins and poisons that have accumulated within the body. And the fungus is not going to be strong enough to attack it. And the parasites, which are not your enemies, they're your friends, they actually work with you in the same role as bacteria does to digest and to neutralize toxins. When those three things are not strong enough, that's when a virus becomes created inside the body. And what is a virus now? This is very important. It is a cleaning crew. It is a soap. It is a solvent, a natural way to secrete and release all of the toxins throughout the body. A virus is created inside the body. A great example of this is mucus coming from the nose or coming out of the mouth. If you're breathing in a lot of heavy metals, let's just say you live in a high polluted environment and there's lots of chemtrails and you're breathing in lots of aluminum, this is a great example. When you breathe in too much of that stuff, the body's going to start creating mucus, and straight away that's what a virus is. It's a soap and a solvent, and that works with your whole body. So it will start creating it from the inside, and what will start happening is, it's because of viruses that human beings are so immune to these things like industrial toxins, electromagnetic pollution, the Wi-Fi, the 5G, the 4G, the 3G, the Bluetooth, all of that stuff. When your body is highly exposed to bad nutrition, electromagnetic pollution, poor drinking water, that's when a virus is created. And it is, I want to confirm this, a self-defense mechanism, a very highly intuitive self-defense mechanism that will attack any toxin, a specific toxin. It will come up with that specific self-defense mechanism to neutralize that toxin because it's so powerful, and release it from the body. That's what it is. It's a highly intuitive, innate, intelligent part of the body that works with you to release toxins, chemicals and poisons and stuff like that. It is a soap and it is a solvent, a natural one that is working with you and not against you. Another thing to mention, just as I conclude this video, is that in the history of virology, a virus has never been isolated, ever. It's never been isolated in the history of virology. What I'm trying to say is that they have never taken genetic material from a host who has a supposed virus. They've never isolated it, looked under a microscope and identified an agent that's destroying healthy cells. That's never happened. The person who came up with the virologist 4 principles is a doctor called Thomas Rivers. Now, Thomas Rivers is a doctor who came up with this gold standard test to prove that a virus exists. Again, in the history of virology, this gold standard test has never been passed. He's never even completed the first postulate of his gold standard test. The person who came up with the first gold standard test was a man called Henrik Hermann Robert Koch. He came up with the first method, the first gold standard to identify whether bacteria is infectious, contagious. Not even one time did his first postulate even get passed. The father of germ theory, Louis Pasteur, the Illuminati Freemason, in 40 years of his studies, he has never isolated bacteria or a germ, and that's why it's called germ theory. Bacteria is a theory, the theory that it's contagious, and that's all it is, and that's all it ever will be, because there's no scientific evidence that proves that viruses, bacteria, and germs are bouncing all over the place. There's no scientific evidence to back it up, and they never will be. So don't be scared of viruses, don't be scared of bacteria, and don't be scared of germs, because that is something that your body is naturally made up of, and they are protecting you at all times. Thank you.